Well, welcome to Cape Cod. Cape Cod is one of my favorite places to come. I come here every year around the summertime, and when I found out that there was a fragrance that was named after Cape Cod, it really piqued my interest and I had to try it. Today I'm reviewing Cod Wild Beach Rose by Nomaterra. Now, Nomaterra is a brand that is based out of New York. They make fragrances for nomads on Earth, hence the name Noma for nomad, Terra. It's a husband and wife team that makes fragrances that are based in different cities, like New York and Brooklyn and Malibu, and of course, Cape Cod. Now, Cod Wild Beach Rose is based on a flower called the wild beach rose, or the beach rose. Now, as fortune would have it, it's actually blooming this time of year. So not only are you getting a review on scene in Cape Cod, but you're also seeing the inspiration for the fragrance, which is the beach rose. Now, Cape Cod is a pretty simple fragrance, pretty straightforward. What I get out of it is just a very kind of salty sea spray mixed with neroli and citrus, and then a floral backdrop. There's some other notes that I get that aren't necessarily in the note list, like I get jasmine, I also get neroli, which is not necessarily in there. They say there's bergamot and grapefruit, and I also get a little bit of musk. Now, there's supposed to be some lavender in here, but I don't get a whole lot of it. But mostly what I get is just that salty neroli type of thing at the start, and then it has a little bit of that floral aspect kind of weaving through it. Now, the rose in this is not a typical rose. It's not your typical type of rose-based fragrance. This wild beach rose is very faint, and so I don't necessarily think that wild beach rose, Cape Cod, necessarily smells like the flower itself, but kind of just has the feeling of the flower and the area and the setting. Now, there is lavender in this, and the lavender kind of brings kind of that floral aspect, but also kind of a soapy aspect as well. So matched with the neroli is going to bring kind of that citrusy, soapy thing. But it's not too soapy and it's not too clean. I think it does a really good job of kind of doing a middle ground here. Now, Cape Cod is not super strong. It's on the lighter end of both longevity and projection, so it's going to sit closer to the skin. It's going to be pretty light. The funny thing is, I don't see that as a big deal. I think this type of fragrance is meant to be just kind of an aura. It's not going to be one of those wow fragrances for everybody. Now, again, that said, I've sprayed this for a couple of different people, and everyone that I've sprayed this for really liked it. They really liked how it smelled. They thought it smelled nice and fresh and clean and light. So especially my wife, who is a really harsh critic of fragrances, for her to like something is saying something. Now, this is geared more towards women. They say it's a women's fragrance and has kind of a pink and rosy type of color theme here, but I don't necessarily think it's just for women. I think this is very unisex, and because I don't get much of that rosy texture or flavor here, I think it's really good for men as well, because it has that citrusy, salty thing going on. Really comfortable, I think, for men. Cape Cod is an excellent scent with excellent source material. It's clean and crisp, it's floral and citrusy. It is a little bit salty for that salt spray, and it's a simple fragrance. But sometimes I think simple is superior, and I think that is the case with this one. Now, Nomaterra may be a house that you've never heard of, and I think that Nomaterra is a fragrance that's not for tourists. I think Nomaterra is a fragrance house that is for explorers and adventurers, people that want to find places that they've never seen before and explore places that don't necessarily sell trinkets and doodads. They just want to see and experience. If you've never been to Cape Cod, I think you should come. I think you'd love it. I love it here. It's a wonderful place, especially in the summertime, that I love to come every year. It's so peaceful and tranquil. If you've never tried Nomaterra fragrances, I think you should do that too. And I think Cape Cod, like the place itself, is a great place to start.